In one Ohio town, a fight over data centers boiled over so badly that police were called to a council meeting. And now residents are suing their own mayor. From Illinois courtrooms to Texas tax fights, the AI build-out is colliding head-on with the people who live next door. Even as power bills climb and reservoirs run dry. Tonight, the lawsuits, the $18 billion campuses, and the question echoing across America: who ultimately pays for all of this? In Trenton, Ohio, a fight over data centers has turned into open confrontation. At a city council meeting this week, police were called in and residents were escorted out after tempers flared. The spark: city leaders playing a video of President Trump voicing support for data centers, which the crowd loudly rejected. The dispute began when a citizens group called W.A.T.E.R. Woodsdale and Trenton Environmental Resistance gathered more than 400 signatures to put a data center ban on the November ballot. The Butler County Elections Board verified 336, but the council ruled that fell short of the 820 it says the city charter requires, and rejected the petition. Residents have now sued Mayor Ryan Perry and every council member, and the Ohio Supreme Court has opened an expedited case. That fight is far from the only one headed to court. That courtroom pressure is exactly what's unfolding outside Chicago. In Grayslake, Illinois, a group called the Preservation of Community Well-Being Collective, joined by 9 local residents, has filed suit to block a project they call one of unprecedented scale. A 472-acre data center campus known as T5 at Chicago 4. The plan calls for more than 10 million square feet of buildings drawing roughly 1.55 gigawatts of power from ComEd, backed by diesel generators. The lawsuit names the village of Grayslake, T5 data centers, and Alter Asset Management, alleging officials violated the Illinois Open Meetings Act by negotiating the deal behind closed doors, and that data centers aren't even permitted under village zoning. Facing the threat, developer T5 has already paused a wetland permit, and Illinois isn't alone. The same playbook is now unfolding deep in the heart of Texas. In Guadalupe County, Texas, just outside San Marcos, the Data Center Action Coalition and 3 residents, Kara Finlayson, Barry Lindsay, and Tori Martin, have sued the county commissioners over 2 massive projects, Cloudburst and Palomino Alpha. Together, they'd convert more than 1,700 acres of rural land into over 4 million square feet of data centers, demanding gigawatt-scale power from new on-site plants. And, the suit says, handing developers roughly $150 million in property tax breaks. Their attorney, Bobby Levinsky of the Save Our Springs Alliance, describes a pattern of secrecy, alleging violations of the Texas Open Meetings Act and conflict of interest laws. Even the state's own agriculture commissioner has called Governor Abbott's recent data center crackdown political fluff, and the reason these fights keep igniting comes down to one thing everyone pays for: power. Across the country, data centers are quietly reshaping what Americans pay for electricity. In regions with heavy data center concentration, power prices have jumped as much as 267% over the past 5 years. And one analysis found the build-out has already added $23 billion to consumers' electricity bills. Utilities requested more than $29 billion in rate hikes in just the first half of last year, double the year before. Now Washington is reacting. On August 3, Senator Martin Heinrich of New Mexico introduced the Grid Savings Act, which would force large electricity users like data centers to pay for the grid upgrades their demand requires, instead of passing those costs to households, with utilities fielding requests for 700 gigawatts of new connections. The pressure is enormous. But electricity is only half the story. Water tells the other half. Because these machines don't just consume power. They consume water, and in staggering amounts. A new accounting finds that AI data centers guzzled more than 264 billion gallons of water in 2025, a record, even as devastating drought gripped nearly 2/3 of the United States. Roughly 2/3 of the 809 data centers now planned nationwide sit on land that's been in drought over the past year. In the Phoenix area alone, close to 60 facilities require about 177 million gallons every single day. And a single large campus can swallow up to 5 million gallons daily. The equivalent of a small city. This month, a congressional review put hard numbers to the strain, warning that federal water plans for the drought-stricken West don't even account for this surging new demand. State legislators are taking notice. And nowhere are they moving faster than Ohio. A newly introduced state bill would fundamentally change how data centers get built, requiring direct voter approval before any large-scale project can move forward, and banning the local tax incentives communities have used to lure them. Supporters, including Representative Jennifer Gross, argue residents deserve a say before their towns are reshaped and their power bills climb. It's part of a national wave. More than 300 data center bills have been filed across 30 states this year, alongside moratorium proposals in at least 11 of them. As lawmakers shift from courting these projects to regulating them, the message from statehouses is increasingly blunt. Slow down. Yet despite that regulatory wave, construction is pressing forward at a scale that's almost hard to fathom. Consider what's rising in Sulphur Springs, Texas. Developer MSB Global Services has unveiled the Matrix Data Center campus, an $18.7 billion hyperscale project sprawling across roughly 1,677 acres. At full build-out, it would deliver 3 gigawatts of computing capacity across 30 AI-optimized buildings, a footprint large enough to reshape an entire region's power and water demands. The first phase alone comprises 8 buildings and 800 megawatts, with the initial 400 megawatts targeted to come online by late this year and another 400 in early 2027. It's one of the clearest signs yet that even as opposition mounts and lawsuits pile up, the industry is racing to pour concrete faster than communities can push back. And the financial firepower behind construction like this is staggering. That firepower was on full display this week on Wall Street. Celestica, a major electronics manufacturer that builds hardware for data centers, moved to raise $3 billion by selling new shares, pricing them between $310 and $330 a piece. The latest company to cash in on the AI funding rush. It's a small piece of an almost incomprehensible wave of capital. Total data center investment reached nearly $500 billion last year and is projected to hit $650 billion this year, with the 5 biggest tech giants alone planning to spend hundreds of billions more. From a town hall in Ohio where police were called, to a $3 billion stock sale in a single morning, the same question echoes across America. Not whether this build-out can be stopped, but who will ultimately pay for it. Thanks for watching. If you found this useful, subscribe, leave a like, and drop a comment. It helps us cover more of these stories.